You will call me Commander.
Prepare yourself, G.I. Joe fans. Today we're about to plunge into the ultimate breakdown and analysis of the 15 most powerful characters in G.I. Joe's universe. We will discuss the true OGs who have steadfastly stood their ground since the very beginning of the series, the ones that originate from comic books and extend into animated series, among other media. Our journey will take us down memory lane as we reminisce about their epic backstories and integral roles in the development of this franchise. These characters have achieved legendary status because they are shining examples of heroism and expertise in their fields. But hold on to your helmets, because we're not just here to chat about their charming personalities and cool outfits, although that's a given. We're digging deep into the nitty-gritty of their powers, from high-tech gadgets to insane combat skills. These characters pack a serious punch. So whether you're a die-hard G.I. Joe enthusiast or just someone looking to catch up on the powerhouse players, buckle up for a ride through the G.I. Joe multiverse. Let the countdown begin. Let's go, Joes. Now, before we go into our video, we have a small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you very much. Now, let's begin.
Let those who oppose me die, for I am
Serpentor. Serpentor wasn't born. He was cooked up in Dr. Mindbender's lab like a crazy cobra smoothie. They went on a whirlwind DNA scavenger hunt, snagging bits and pieces from the likes of Alexander the Great, Attila the Hun, and even the OG bad boy Vlad Tepes. Yes, they went all in on the historical rogues gallery. But here's the kicker: his creators forgot that these historical heavyweights weren't exactly team players. They were ambitious, ruthless, and had a knack for world domination, so Serpentor turned out to be a certified sadist. Who would have thought? With all that historical firepower, it's like he's got a crash course in arrogance. And here's the thing, his DNA cocktail also makes him a bit of a lunatic. Picture a bunch of legendary leaders duking it out for control in his head. It's like a genetic battle royale in there. And get this, Serpentor isn't just content with your run-of-the-mill evil plans. No, he's got bigger dreams, to wipe out the entire human race. Those kinds of dreams. Yes, it does escalate quickly. So why is he rocking our #1 spot in G.I. Joe power rankings? Well, because Serpentor isn't your average action figure. He's the G.I. Joe version of a genetic powerhouse, a Frankenstein's monster of historical badasses. This dude is a force to be reckoned with. A walking, talking lesson in why you shouldn't mess with ancient conqueror DNA. Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is the OG, the main dude, the ninja extraordinaire in the G.I. Joe world. This guy is like the rock star of the franchise, no questions asked. So get this, he's a Westerner who somehow ends up in the Arashikage ninja clan. We're not sure how he pulls it off, but mad props to Snake Eyes for that move. This dude is trained in martial arts, becomes a ninja commando, and even moonlights as the G.I. Joe martial arts trainer. Talk about a career shift. Now, when it comes to fighting, Snake Eyes is on a whole other level. He's a master of many weapons, but he's got this sweet spot for his trusty katana. Plus, he's got Timber, his pet wolf, ready to help him in battle. It's like having a furry ninja sidekick. Goals. What's wild about Snake Eyes is the mysterious vibe he's got going on. He's like the James Bond of G.I. Joe. He never talks, not even a peep. Some say it's by choice, and others claim his vocal cords took a beating. And that's not all. His whole life is shrouded in secrecy. Real name? Unknown. Personal history? Mystery. The dude's got more layers than an onion. But that's why we love him, right? The silent ninja is a man of few words but a lot of action. He's our #2 in the power rankings, and honestly he's probably just too cool to be #1. Snake Eyes, you sly ninja, you're a true legend. Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow's the ninja with more plot twists than a soap opera. This dude is a certified martial arts maestro who's been battling with both G.I. Joe and Cobra. And get this, he used to be the personal bodyguard to the big bad Cobra Commander. Talk about a resume booster. But here's the thing about Storm Shadow. As stone cold as he may seem, he's not exactly sending in his Cobra membership card by choice. No, Cobra framed him for murder, and he had to do the whole evil organization gig just to figure out who set him up. It's like the worst job interview ever, forced to join just to clear his name. Now, this ninja's flip-flopped more than a politician during election season, But don't let that fool you. His anger issues and lone wolf mentality keep pulling him back into Cobra's shady embrace. Tommy's got layers, like a maze. Even in the animated series, Storm Shadow stands out as the bad guy you love to hate. He's the Cobra wildcard, a real threat to both sides of the battlefield. But hey, the dude's got a redemption arc too. After all the ninja drama, Storm Shadow decides to throw his hat in with the good guys. Still, don't sleep on him. Those skills are not a joke. And that's why he's holding down our number 3 spot in the G.I. Joe power rankings. Storm Shadow, the ninja with more turns than a racetrack. Mad respect.
Anna?
Now you have to admit,
Duke. Duke is the main man, the top dog, the guy who's basically the face of G.I. Joe. If G.I. Joe had a Captain America, it would be Duke. So Duke's not just any old Joe, he's the guy who shouts orders like a seasoned general. You can't miss him. He's that guy leading the charge, and when he talks, you listen. He's got the official title of First Sergeant, but take it from us, that's just a formality. Underestimate him at your own peril. Now, he isn't your average Joe backstory. No, he joined the US Army back in '67, and guess what? The dude aced everything. Top of his class. Fast forward to '69 in Vietnam, and Duke's out there being a one-man rescue team, saving 34 POWs from an exceptionally secure fortress. Why do all the Joes love Duke? Because he's not the kind of leader who chills in the back sipping a beer while everyone else does the dirty work. No sir. Duke's philosophy is simple. A commander's place is in the thick of the fight, right there on the battlefield. So why is he our number 4 in the power rankings? Because Duke has it all. Charisma, brains, and combat skills that make you question, is he secretly a superhero? The guy's the heart and soul of the team, and you know when Duke's in charge, things are about to get real. Duke, you magnificent G.I. Joe, you're holding it down at number 4.
Listen, is our command.
Cobra Commander. The Cobra Commander is the big baddie, the head honcho of the Cobra crew. This guy didn't just stumble upon evil, he built Cobra from the ground up, which is why Cobra Commander's not just a problem, he's a whole damn threat for the free world. Now when it comes to his personality, let's just say he's not winning any popularity contests. The dude's got a screw or two loose, and even his own troops side-eye him. Mystery shrouds his past. It's like he appeared out of thin air nearly, ready to terrorize the globe. And about that face of his, hidden like he's prepping for Halloween 24/7, always rocking the helmet or hood, and if you try asking why, who knows? And don't get us started on that voice. It's a mix of nails on a chalkboard and a cat in heat. But hey, it's the soundtrack to those evil plans. Sure, Cobra Commander has big dreams of world domination, but here's the problem. He's like the Dr. Doofenshmirtz of G.I. Joe. He talks a big game, but his grand visions tend to flop, failure after failure. But you know what? He just keeps coming back for more. Ranked at number 5, he might not be a genius mastermind, but you can't ignore his influence over Cobra forces. As long as Cobra Commander's in the mix, the battle is far from done. Love him or hate him, he's an icon in the hall of fictional villains. Destro. Let's talk about Destro, the arms dealer extraordinaire with a silver mask. So this dude runs Mars, which is basically a weapons manufacturing powerhouse. His game plan: get unstable countries all riled up, make them fight each other, and then sell them weapons. To him, war is like the natural state of being. Survival of the fittest, you know? And guess who's his best customer? Cobra, of course. Destro's like their go-to weapons guy. And here's the twist: he's not just the supplier, he's also dabbled in leading the crew. Talk about a side hustle. Now, this guy has this silver mask, which is practically his trademark, but don't let the bling fool you. Destro's the brains behind the doomsday devices Cobra Commander loves using in his world domination attempts. He's basically an evil genius with a fashion sense. But here's where it gets interesting. Destro's not exactly Cobra's number 1 fan. It's more like a frenemy situation. He's in it for his own gain, not necessarily buying into Cobra's whole world domination thing. And get this, he's got this weird honor code. He might be a shady arms dealer, but he respects the G.I. Joes for their skill, if not their motives. Ranked at number 6, Destro's no pushover. This guy means business, that's for sure. With his tech genius and heavy artillery, he's a force to be reckoned with. Destro, the man with the silver mask and a plan. Do not underestimate him.
My name is General Clayton Abernathy. Perhaps you've heard of me, Duke.
Hawk. Hawk's the big boss. the head honcho, the guy keeping G.I. Joe in line. This dude has been the OG leader since the G.I. Joe crew began. Hawk's real name, Clayton M. Abernathy. Fancy, right? Born in Denver, Colorado, the guy has connections, which landed him a ticket to West Point. He graduated at the top of his class. No surprises there. Hawk wasn't there for a good time, he was there for a disciplined time. His military speciality, armor, dear friends. This guy didn't just learn how to drive a tank, he mastered it. He got degrees from advanced infantry training and covert ops school, basically the G.I. Joe University of Badassery. But it's not all about the classroom for Hawk. This dude's been on the grind, getting real battlefield experience. And get this, he even had a bullseye on his back from some shady American forces trying to take down G.I. Joe. Talk about workplace drama. What makes Hawk the man? This guy's like the Einstein of the battlefield. He's not just barking orders, he's been out there, boots on the ground. And that's why the crew respects him. They know he's been in the same muddy trenches they have. Ranked at number 7, Hawk's the top dog. The guy with the responsibility and skills to keep the G.I. Joe team in check. He's not just a leader, he's the guy you want on your side when things go south. Hawk, hats off to you. Firefly. Let us now talk of Firefly, Cobra's go-to guy for wrecking things and creating chaos. This dude is like the ninja of destruction and nobody knows a damn thing about him, not even what he looks like. So Firefly's the guy you call when you want a high-profile sabotage mission done right. He's Cobra's personal wrecking ball, and rumor has it he's been in the game since Cobra was just a sneaky snake idea. His real name, no one has a clue. His background, nope, nothing. What does he look like under that mask? Your guess is as good as ours. He's the man of many secrets, and he's been doing the sabotage hustle since the beginning. Firefly is the stealth and infiltration guru. He's like a shadow that plants explosives instead of giving you bedtime spooks. When it comes to blowing things up, the guy's a maestro. He knows where to stick explosives for maximum impact. As a mercenary and saboteur, Firefly is the bane of G.I. Joe's existence. Every time they think they've got things under control, he shows up, ready to make a mess, and guess what? He's not just into regular explosives, he brings flame-based weapons to the party, because, you know, regular explosions are just too mainstream. Ranked at number 8, Firefly isn't just a problem for the Joes, he's a menace, even to Cobra. Infiltration, destruction, and a touch of mystery. Firefly, the guy who turns any mission into a chaotic masterpiece. Scarlet. Alright, let's chat about Scarlet, the ninja babe. The one who can kick butt and take lives without breaking a sweat. She's like the Swiss Army knife of G.I. Joe. So Scarlet, or Shana O'Hara, if you're feeling formal, was right there from the beginning. Deadly. Oh, you bet. She's the go-to for commando ops, assassination, and if you get on her bad side, probably a roundhouse kick to the face. What makes her so damn good at her job? Well, who'd suspect this badass of all trades? It's like having a secret weapon in a miniskirt. But Scarlet isn't just a stone-cold operative. No, she has layers, inner depth. She began off all hard-nosed and no-nonsense, but somewhere along the line, she caught feels. Yeah, emotions and stuff. Who knew? And when it comes to martial arts, oh, she's the queen. No one can fight a battle quite like Scarlet. If she's not busy teaching the Joes a lesson in hand-to-hand combat, she's doing some James Bond level counterintelligence stuff. Her weapon of choice, only the XK-1 power crossbow, if you please. The girl has style. And get this, she did a stint with the CIA. So when it comes to gathering intel on Cobra, she's basically the G.I. Jane James Bond. Spies everywhere, take notes. Ranked at number 9, Scarlet is not just eye candy. She's a tough chick you want watching your back. A skilled martial artist, weapons pro, and undercover extraordinaire. Scarlet, you're a force to be reckoned with. The Baroness. The Baroness is Cobra's right-hand lady, the brains behind the villainy, and the woman who gives deadly charm a whole new meaning. Initially rocking the name Anastasia Sizarovna, she grew up as a spoiled aristocrat in Europe, and her family developed a full-on hate relationship with the good old US of A. Talk about family drama. Now, before she became Cobra's second-in-command, the Baroness dabbled in revolutionary groups. But hey, joining Cobra and becoming the yin to Cobra Commander's yang turned out to be her calling. She's like the fixer, the one making sure Cobra's evil plans have a hint of success. Head of Cobra's intelligence operations, the Baroness is basically Cobra's version of a spy extraordinaire. She's got a PhD in psychological warfare, a master's in biochemical attacks, and a side hustle in sultry good looks. It's not just her combat skills that make her deadly, It's the whole package. Killer combo, right? The Baroness has this personal vendetta against G.I. Joe and the American government, making her the nightmare in a sleek black suit. But it's not just about taking lives for her. It's about using her charm to get the dirty deeds, which makes her the deadliest smooth talker of all. Ranked at number 10, the Baroness is the brains with combat brawn, Cobra's secret weapon, and the woman who proves that intelligence is just as lethal as a laser gun. Baroness, the Cobra queen of schemes and style. A true force in the world of G.I. Joe. Roadblock. It's now time to talk about Roadblock, the powerhouse, the culinary maestro, the guy you want in your corner when the going gets tough. So his real name is Marvin F. Hinton, but you might know him better as Roadblock. This dude is a walking tank, both in terms of muscle and firepower. He's the heavy machine gunner for the G.I. Joe team, and when we say heavy, we mean really heavy. His Browning M2.50 caliber HMG weighs more than you could ever imagine, almost 150 pounds. Now, what sets Roadblock apart? Well, for starters, he's not just about mowing down enemies. He's a gourmet chef. Yep, you heard that right. He's slinging bullets and cooking up a storm in the kitchen. He's like the Gordon Ramsay of the battlefield. But rewind a bit. Roadblock didn't start in the army dreaming of culinary greatness. No, he fell for a recruitment pitch that said the army could teach cooking as well as any fancy school out in France. Reality check, basic training KP duty wasn't exactly gourmet. So he switched gears to the infantry, and that's where he became the heavy artillery boss we know and love. Ranked at number 11, Roadblock is the guy you want when things go south. Big guns, big heart, and a taste for victory. When Roadblock's on your team, you know you're in for some serious firepower. Roadblock, the man with muscles and the menu. A true Joe through and through.
No wonder nothing ever gets done.
That's what we're going to fix, Mr. Zartan.
Zartan. Now let's dive into the world of Zartan, the chameleon extraordinaire, leader of the Dreadnoks, and an all-round shady character you don't want to meet in a dark alley. This dude is the brains behind the biker gang, the Dreadnoks. Now don't let their rough exterior fool you. Zartan's the puppet master, pulling the strings with brains and cunning, not just brute force. He's a genius among miscreants. What makes Zartan truly creepy? His knack for disguise. This fella can transform himself into anyone, and by that we mean anyone. Friend or foe, you never know if the person next to you is really Zartan in disguise. It's like having a living, breathing invisibility cloak. Once he's on the field, good luck spotting him. But it's not just wigs and makeup, this master of disguise goes high-tech too. He's got gadgets, gizmos to aid in his shape-shifting shenanigans. Basically, Zartan is the human version of a plot twist. If that's not enough, he's a jack of all trades too. Ventriloquism, check. Languages, he probably speaks more of them than Google Translate. Escaping tight spots, he could give Houdini a run for his money. Martial arts, yep, he's got a black belt in unpredictability. Ranked at number 12, Zartan's the guy you can't pin down. The wild card in Cobra's deck. Master of disguise, king of the unexpected. Zartan, you're the enigma we never knew we needed.
Let me see.
Don't touch.
Lady J. Lady J is the brainy brawler, the linguistic ninja, the woman who proves that intelligence is not just about how high up in your position you are. So her real name is Staff Sergeant Alison R. Hart Burnett, and she's not your average Joe. She's one of the most skilled soldiers in the G.I. Joe team, and she has a knack for gathering intel like a superpower. Lady J is like a walking chameleon. She's not just a gifted linguist, she's an actress and mimic rolled into one. When she puts on a disguise, she becomes the disguise. Dialect, accent, movement and all. It's like having a human copy machine. Before joining the military, she hit the books at Bryn Mawr University and even studied at Trinity College in Ireland. But she didn't stop there. She enlisted in the US military and went through the whole shebang. Airborne, ranger training, you name it. This lady isn't afraid to get her hands dirty, and she loves her grunt duty. Cryptological linguistics, signals intelligence, electronic interception analysis. She is basically the Swiss Army knife of spycraft. But here's the thing, she's not just about decrypting codes, she's out here in the field leading undercover missions as well, like a boss. Ranked at number 13, Lady J is the intelligence specialist who's not afraid to kick butt when the situation calls for it. Brains, skill, and a touch of undercover badassery. Lady J, you're the secret weapon the Joes didn't know they needed. Gung Ho. Now let's talk about Gung Ho, the wild man from Louisiana, the Marine with a flair for bare-knuckle brawls, and the fella you want in your corner when Cobra comes a-knockin'. So Gung Ho is the kind of guy you'd call the craziest and scariest man to ever strut out of Paris Island. Born in Fer-de-Lance, Louisiana, he'd probably wrestle alligators for fun or something. This dude was practically raised in the bayous, sharpening his skills in bare-knuckle boxing and knife fighting. It's pretty wild, right? Who needs a bedtime story when you've got Gung Ho's childhood adventures? He joined the Marines at 18, and guess what? He didn't just pass, he aced it, graduating top of his class at Paris Island. The guy really lives up to his name. You won't find a more pumped up Gung Ho guy than this guy. His enthusiasm is infectious, and especially when he's out there trading blows with Cobra. And check this out. Gung Ho is not just a tough Marine, he's a walking advertisement for the USMC. He has this chest tattoo that's probably got its own zip code. This guy wears his Marine pride like a badge of honor. Armed with a grenade launcher, he's the walking definition of no nonsense out in the field. When Gung Ho steps onto the battlefield, you know damn well things are going to get loud, colourful and explosive. Gung Ho is the tough fella with the Louisiana twist, ranked at number 14. He's always up for a good brawl, and Cobra had better watch out when this bayou brawler comes a-knockin'. Gung Ho the Marine, with the attitude as big as his grenade launcher, a force to be reckoned with.
Mindbender, I'm touched by your concern.
Dr. Mindbender. Dr. Mindbender is Cobra's resident mad scientist, the brain behind all the brawn, and the guy who turned from a kind-hearted orthodontist into a crazy genius. Dr. Mindbender wasn't always this crazy though. He was a nice guy until his experiment backfired and he was left with brain damage and a significant attitude change. A former dentist, he began by casually tinkering with brainwave stimulations to ease dental pain. Sounds innocent, right? Well, not when you're Dr. Mindbender. The experiment turned him from a nice guy into a hateful, deceitful and vain man, and to him, that was like winning the villain lottery. Now he's on a mission to change the world, one evil invention at a time. This dude is exceptionally meticulous and fussy. He's the scientist who wants to oversee every tiny detail of his evil projects. Mindbender has a PhD in making things go from bad to worse, from mind control devices to genetic experiments and cybernetics. But what really put him on the Cobra map? The Battle Android Troopers, Cobra's very own robotic army, courtesy of Dr. Mindbender's twisted genius. Oh, and let's not forget that brainwave scanner, a little gadget that lets Cobra read minds during interrogations, because you know, regular questioning, well, that's just too old-fashioned. Ranked at number 15, Dr. Mindbender might not be the most brutal guy in the room, but his scientific brilliance and mind control shenanigans make him a different kind of threat. A mad scientist with a mission. You're the Cobra's chaotic maestro. Marvelous verdict. And there it is, folks, the rundown of the 15 most powerful G.I. Joe characters that rocked our world. From Serpentor, the genetic powerhouse with a craving for world domination, to Snake Eyes, the silent ninja. Each Joe and Cobra brings their A-game to the battleground. We've delved into their backstories, learned about their roles in the franchise, and unpacked the unique powers that make them the real MVPs. Whether it's Duke's strategic genius or Firefly's penchant for blowing things up, these characters have etched their mark into the G.I. Joe history books. And hey, it's not just the comics. These bad boys and girls have graced our screens in various G.I. Joe media, from cartoons to movies. So who's your top pick? Let the G.I. Joe debate begin. Remember, it's not just about the battles, it's about the characters that keep us hooked on the real American hero saga. Until next time, fellow Joes. Oh, and if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.